Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Just kidding. But I'm supposed to create a 10-15 minute ethnography. So I find a place that where it represents you. So I decided to do it in my nail room. This is my nail room. I have all my acrylics. Oh my gosh, my TV, my acrylics. These are my nail liquids. They're not alcohol in there. There's no alcohol. And then these are my polishes. And then my desk. I have my chips right here because I'm a little hungry. But I kind of want to do this like how you know how like if you're watching like a YouTube like a makeup video and they're talking. I'm gonna do that but with nails because I'm gonna do my nails right now because they're not looking good. So I guess the first thing I just wanted to talk about was me and like what I identify myself as. So when people ask me like, oh, what are you? I'm Mexican. That's usually the first kind of like response that I give. But I'd never like yeah, like I like to say that I'm like Chicana too, but that's not the first thing that I say when people like ask me, because a lot of people, well, some people like don't know like what Chicana really means. They know more like, oh, if she's Mexican or not Mexican, you know. But yeah, like I was born here, grew up here and everything. Basically my whole life is here. My parents, my mom, well, they're both grew up in Wasco, I guess. But they moved here when they were like older. So my mom was born here. My dad was actually born in Mexico. My dad was born in Mexico, and he came here when he was about 6 months old. Because my grandma and my grandpa came when, well, they crossed through the river, so they literally had to like swaddle my dad up in like a blanket or something and like carry him and go through the river, I guess. That's what my grandma had told me. I think that's like, I don't know, I kind of think it's like inspiring because like they have 4 boys, so I have 3 tios plus my dad. All 4 of them like really made it. Like they live in these like beautiful houses and have like these amazing families. Okay, so I finished my prep. These are how long I'm gonna do. These are like 2XLs, super long. But so right now I'm gonna do application. So I'm gonna put the acrylic on. This is my doggy. Her name is Mimi. Get down. So the next thing I want to talk about is microaggressions. So for me, I've definitely experienced some microaggressions. And it's not even like racism related. It could be like other things, like just like little like remarks to where you're like, what? Like, did you say that? But I know there is definitely like some like bad ones, but mine are not that bad, I guess. People are just like somebody thought one time I was Indian. They're like, oh, like you're Indian, right? I was like, no. No, I'm not Indian. They're like, oh, what are you? I was like, I'm Mexican. Like again, like that's like the first thing that I said. Hey, get down. That's like the first thing that I say to people when they ask me like, oh, what are you? I just say like, I'm Mexican. So other microaggressions that I've heard are kind of like, oh, you don't look like you'd be good in math, or like, oh, like just in school in general, like you don't look like you'd be like good in school. And then to me in my head I was like, well, why not, you know? they were just like, I don't know, like you just don't look like it. And I was like, well, dang, like if I want like it, then what do I look like? Like, do I look like someone who's gonna like not gonna do school or what? Some other ones would probably be like, oh, I hate this one. I hate this one. So, I don't speak Spanish. Like, my parents never, oh, no, they just never taught me, and I wasn't really like that interested to learn until like now, or like a few years ago. I really want to learn now. But the top one that I get like all the time, I hate it. It's they would tell me like, how are you Mexican and you don't speak Spanish? Like, I hate it when people like tell me that, because it's just like, I don't know, it's just like, I was just never taught when I was younger, and like usually like when you're not taught things when you're younger, it's harder to learn them as an adult. Because like, I guess, I don't know, something with your brain is all like, they're better, they're good, whatever, I don't know. Your brain's better when you're older, like it's fully developed, and like when you're younger it's not, so it's like kind of easier to learn everything. So that was kind of like one thing that I hate when people tell me, or they're like, man, like you look like you would speak Spanish, you know? And I'm like, yeah, like I guess I do, but like I don't, you know? And then like they'll give me crap about it, and it's just like, I don't know, it kind of gets me sad too, because I'm like yeah, like I want to be a part, like I feel like I'm not part of like the culture because I don't speak Spanish, and that like breaks my heart, because like I don't know, because like I'm Mexican, so like I want to be like a part of that, you know? But when people say things like that, they kind of like count me as like an outcast, and basically trying to say like, oh, like you're not Mexican, like you're not a part of us, like you're not with us. That's kind of like how I take it when they tell me things like that. It just kind of like messes with me a little bit, because I'm like, I want to learn and I want to be a part of the culture and everything like that, but it's hard when people constantly give you crap about it, about like not speaking Spanish. And like a lot of people assume that I speak Spanish, and that's understandable. Like if you would look at me, you would be like, oh yeah, she speaks Spanish. Like I could see that, but then like when they see that I don't speak Spanish, they kind of get like, oh, like she doesn't speak Spanish, kind of things like that. That's what gets me, because it's like, man, I can't even communicate in my own language. Like it makes me feel bad. That's honestly probably like the biggest like microaggression that people tell me, which sucks, you know? So I just did one. It's gonna take me a while, but I'm gonna be back when I finish vacation. Okay, so I just finished my application. This is how they're looking. I have to file them now, but I'm gonna put on a mask too, because all the dust is no good. When we have watched that documentary, the 13th, I actually really enjoyed watching it, because it was kind of interesting to find that out, how like majority of the people that are in the system, like at least black people are gonna be like, African American people will be institutionalized at least once in their life. Like I thought that was kind of crazy compared to like white people or other races like that. So why it kind of like, well, it didn't affect me, but why it was interesting to me was because I have like family members that have gone through the system, all Mexican, so I kind of like was interested by that. So yeah, I've had family members pass in and out of the system. I had one that unfortunately didn't make it through the system. Like he died in jail. So and then I had one that, like, the time that we were watching the 13th, he was actually in at Laredo. So I was kind of asking him questions because I really wanted to know. Like, I was really interested. So I kind of just asked him like if they're like mixed races in there, and they don't mix races. So basically, okay. So basically, what he was telling me was that in there they're separated by race. Well, the blacks are separated by race. So there's in his pod he had white people and Mexicans, and then that's like they only like talk with each other unless they're at like a visit. Then they might see like other races, you know. But he said that the African American people have their own like pod, like they have their own section, like they're completely separated from everybody else. And then the other races like Chinese or like Filipinos, you know, the other races like that, they're considered other, so they're like all by them, they're like all together, you know. It's just the main three races that are kind of like, well, I guess they're all separated, but I just kind of found that interesting. So I told him, I was like, so there's no African American people like where you're at? He was like, no, it's just white and Mexicans basically. And I thought that was I thought that was interesting. So I was like, oh, like, you know, like I didn't know that they'd be separated like that. And then what else? I don't know, that's why I kind of like that documentary. It was really interesting. I told my parents about it and everything. But yeah. And then let me see what else. Just people in general, like sometimes they don't see what like they're doing, like racist people. Yeah, sometimes it is intentional, but sometimes it's like not intentional. Like they don't even know that they're doing it. Like they're just so accustomed to it, they don't really realize or like understand anything like that. And that's the thing that sucks, because a lot of people don't know like the history behind it, I guess. And like, yeah, everybody knows about like slaves and stuff like that, but some people don't know like what happened after that, like segregation and discrimination like that, how hard it was for people of color to actually make it in America. Like it was like really, really hard. So a lot of people don't know that, so I feel like that's why they're so like used to like just like saying whatever they wanted to say because they don't have the knowledge of it. That's the thing that sucks. I feel like a lot more people should be educated on that. Like how I am, like in right here, like even though like little things like eugenics or like some of the bills that have been passed, like the 13th, like I didn't know that the 13th Amendment kind of like had a loophole in it. That's why a lot of mass incarceration happened. And things like little things like that, like I didn't even know. So I think it's really good that like I was kind of educated about that in this class. Like I think it really helped me a lot. I have a few more topics I want to talk about, but I'm gonna finish filing my nails, and I'm right here. This is how they're looking right now. They're kind of long, but I'm gonna finish filing my nails, and then all I have to do after that is just design, and then I have to talk about a couple more things. Yeah, I'll be back when I finish my shape. Okay, part 5 now. I did finish my nails already, but this is how they came out. Cute, cute. I did like a white chrome, but I'm sure you're not interested in that. But I still wanted to show you. I'm just in here doing my client kits for the week for my clients. But the last thing that I wanted to talk about was stereotypes and stereotypes in the media, because especially like with TV shows and movies, you see a lot of stereotypical acting kind of going on. I guess that I wanted to talk about, well, kind of like all of them. Like, if you think of like a Mexican, like an old Mexican lady, or like just a lady in general, you tend to think of like a maid, I guess, in a way, or like the mom that's always cooking or cleaning, you know, like things like that. And it sucks because, like, yeah, I mean, like, okay, not gonna lie, some of them are true, but it's not the case for every Mexican lady, you know, or like, or if the guys, sometimes they're depicted as like gangbangers and like criminals and thugs and like all that, like that's not really fair to say that that's like all Mexican men, or like that's all Mexican ladies like that. That's not really fair. That's the thing that sucks. And like with African American people, you kind of get the same thing, to where like the mad black women, like anytime they come, or anytime they come on like hoochie, you know, like that's not the case at all for everyone. And that's the thing that sucks, is because like when people live like in certain areas, like I don't know, like if you live like the super suburban area, like go to like white people, like if they like live like by the country club or something like that, they're only around like white people, or like areas that are like that are only around like their race. They tend to get these ideas from these movies and these shows about what these other people of races are like, and sometimes that's not the case at all. So when they like meet somebody from another race, they're gonna think automatically like, oh, if he's African American and he's big and he's like, you know, bigger, they're gonna think, oh, he's bad, that's bad, like, let me stay away from that. And then I don't know, just things like that, where it's like, come on, dude, like that's not how it is at all in the real life. And I think it just kind of sucks that people get these ideas of different races and it's not at all what it's like, and they don't know, because all they see is that on what they watch online, if they hear like news stories, and obviously it's not what they should be represented as, but it's what a lot of people take them as, you know what I mean? So now they have to defy all these stereotypical things to make it be like, okay, like that's not who I am, like I'm more than like a Mexican, you know what I mean? Like a Mexican stereotypical person, you know? Like that's not how everybody is. So you can't really define, like put people in groups and be like, okay, this is what they are, this is what this race is, this is what this race is. Like no, everybody's different, everybody has different backgrounds, everybody grew up different, like, you know what I mean? Like, we just have different everything, so it's not fair that like these shows and these movies talk about races like they're all the same, because they're not. And I guess that kind of concludes like what I wanted to talk about. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to speak on, but I really did enjoy this class and everything that it taught me. I really did. I learned a lot. I learned a lot that I think I'll stay with for the rest of my life. Just about like everything, you know? I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the lectures. I enjoyed the Zoom, because we don't have to go to school. And I hope you enjoyed my, well, it wasn't really like tutorial, because I was like just doing it by myself and just talking, you know? But my nails, cute. They're a bit longer than what I usually do, but I still like them. Okay, bye.